This is Hannibal back here from the Hannibal TV on YouTube with another mystery drone slash unidentified aerial phenomena update and a lot of news today. Let's start with for the third day in a row, there's new information coming out from former head of the Pentagon's UAP program, Lou Elizondo. He did an interview with News Nation. He says for the mystery drones, we don't know who's operating them, where they're coming from, but we do know that they aren't amateur. These are state-sponsored capability drones. 22 areas in New Jersey have flight bans with deadly force authorized related to anyone operating these. And again, some of them could be manned drones. He went on to say the Chinese have penetrated the infrastructure of this country. There could be denial of service from electrical and water perspectives. When they find the origins of the drones, the people are quickly caught as far as the more amateurish drones. Um, and it's like for the more professional orb looking ones that could be from either China, which we'll get into a bit more in a bit, or visitors from other places. There's no one being caught. They are saying that the ones in civilian airspaces are not a threat as far as the Pentagon statements. They're saying civilian airspace has no known drone threat. So they aren't saying that for military airspace. Civilian airspace has no known drone threat. That is interesting. And again, they keep using this nefarious word. Someone needs to make a t-shirt with a house with a UFO on top of it saying not nefarious. I think that would be a big seller. In the past, we've seen footage of drones carrying weapons. So of course, why would someone not be anxious to have a big drone sitting on top of their house? Just bizarre stuff. I mean, and those are some notes from some other news sources as well. This was an interesting interview that I saw. Senator Chris Smith, who is a member of the House Committee on Foreign Affairs, he's been involved in a lot of press conference lately and hearings. And I like this guy. He seems to really want to get to the bottom of this. He's saying again here, 22 flights with deadly no-fly zones. He thinks there's disinformation about what's going on. He doesn't agree with the Pentagon saying they're all lawful and legal. That contradicts everything they're doing. He says he has personally been told by a commander of the Coast Guard that said there was a swarm of drones following one of his rescue ships, and the swarm of drones was within 100 feet of the ship. He says if it's not us, if it's not a covert program, he really wants to know who this is. He speculates it could be China. He also brings up that Donald Trump, the president-elect, has actually canceled his plans to be in New Jersey this weekend due to the drone threat. And then they had on Fox News one of these, an expert on the possibility that these could be Chinese, and apparently there's sightings in a lot of other states appearing now. I'm not going to name them all, but like these are growing across the country, and just to name a few, in places like Virginia, Michigan, Utah, and the Seattle, Washington. And there have been some saying that there could be some in actual Washington as well, but it's unconfirmed whether those are actually mystery drones, military drones, or airplanes. So the actual Washington ones are more up in the air what they are, whereas New Jersey, we know for a fact some of them are total mystery drones. Anyways, this Chinese expert on Fox, Chinese warfare expert, says a lot of the military sites, actually all of the military sites that have had incursions are near areas where China owns farmland in the US. He says all the US drones that the US buys are from China. So, I mean, is this is this could be this might have something to do with why they are able to be countered. He believes that they appear to be he thinks China is preparing for an attack on the US from its own soil. He says the bases don't appear to be able to defend themselves from these drones using counter drone technology that's traditional. He says if they aren't telling us the story of what's actually going on, it's a sign that this is not good. The US has had the biggest cybersecurity breach in history with the recent cell phone tower breach that apparently has been confirmed as Chinese. Here's another story related to the Chinese cell phone tower issues. By the way, they are telling people do not use cell phone two-factor confirmation to get into platforms. Use either Signal or WhatsApp because, again, apparently China has hacked the cell phone towers of some very big companies. He says that China has leaped us in every category except submarines. And they are infiltrating the US right now. That's what this Fox News report was saying regarding China. Then this is interesting. I'm not going to get into this one too much. My old pal, Dr. Stephen Greer, appeared on a show with Dana Carvey, podcast with Dana Carvey. He is saying this is a rogue organization that is doing this to create panic in the US. So take that for what it's worth. The only problem I have with Greer is in this same interview, he's saying he's promoting his website that you have to pay to access his archives. He's like, all the information on this is in my archives. Subscribe to my website, blah, 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 blah. So I do. Anyone that's like obviously selling something, I take with what they say with a grain of salt. Yeah, I guess the drones didn't get the FAA ban memo. Again, the only ones they seem to be able to shoot down is the amateur ones. So as far as like the ones that are the size of school buses, these ones are not getting shut down. Someone says anyone with common sense knows what it is. I mean, there's a lot of, I mean, I do believe some of them are Chinese and some of them could be UAP. And a lot of them are US, looking into whatever the hell's going on up there or whatever's going on the ground. There you go. I report on everything. I have no bias. I just want to know what's going on because there's clearly a lot of weird stuff going on, and I'm going to keep reporting on it. Yes, people are still seeing the drones. It's expanding to other states, and this is despite the FAA ban. There haven't been any further reports that I've read over military bases since the FAA ban. There has not been anything new coming out. Whether they would reveal that information or not, who knows? But I'm sure there's going to be more information coming out on this today. But that's all the latest information on these drone incursions. I'm sure I'll be back later with more info. And I have some interviews lined up with some experts in these subjects in the coming days.